Okay, so this is the second video about precrastination, not procrastination. So if you haven't watched the previous video on precrastination, I'll put a link in the blog and you can go back and look at that and understand how precrastination differs and is similar to procrastination, and how we can sort of look at there's different aspects of what are happening with students who are underachieving and maybe not getting the grades that they want. So it's not always procrastination, even though that's what most people do. There's also this precrastination, so we're going to talk about that. So precrastination, what they really want to have happen is to get done. So this does not mean that they often have problems getting started, but they rush through things. So one thing we do with procrastination is that we encourage students to use timers to get started, and then to break up their work and to take incremental steps to get a chunk of work done, then take a break and reward yourself, and then start again as the timer moves through. So this technique works really well with students who are prone to procrastination because it's really helping their brain get started. With precrastination, what the desire of precrastination is to finish and to be done. This often means that students rush through things. So I've come up with a strategy that I think really does start to help procrastinators and also allows their work quality to go up while keeping their anxiety low. So if we think of this as sort of like the timeline of you get home from school to you go to bed, what procrastinators tend to do is to rush through so they can be done as soon as possible and then have a big break. They don't want to iterate over their work. Like going back and reviewing their work creates a lot of anxiety. So what I tell them to do is get the stuff done that you need to get done immediately. Allow yourself to feel that feeling of satisfaction. So say this takes an hour and they are moving through their work rather quickly. They can be done. And then I let them take a break, a fairly long break, not a half an hour sort of break, at least an hour break, maybe 2 hours break, and then they're allowed to do something. There should be another marker here, like dinner or coming home from a practice, some kind of physical change in their environment. And then they spend a small amount of time looking back at this homework or looking ahead. So they can do both of those, and this really does help. This helps get rid of their anxiety, and this helps polish it up, and this should be a very confined amount of time. Usually I suggest an hour. So they really are getting best of both worlds. They're starting, they're taking a break, which our brain wants anyway, and then they are iterating over their work with a very defined amount of time. So this should not be open-ended, otherwise it feels like you're not done. So if people who procrastinate want to be done, we're really setting up a system that allows them to feel as if they're done, and then they're doing extra, but they can also finish this in a reasonable amount of time and be done. So, this doesn't often have to go to bed, but, a defined chunk of time where they are really building their toolbox and realizing how they can look back, polish it up. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes to take something from a C to an A, and they just need to revisit it while not being stressed about finishing. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, jessica@diyhomework.com.